Bureau. Joining us now to talk more is Democratic Washington State Congressman Adam Smith. Congressman Smith is the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate the chance.
So in your eyes, what are the repercussions here as Musk now has access to records from these three federal agencies?
Well, look, I think the repercussions have already started happening. Number one is the basic violation of the law. Congress passed this law, President signed it, put it into place. Under the law, you can't simply come in and shut down programs like Musk is doing. Second of all, there have been a number of court rulings that have ordered exactly that. And they continue to ignore those court rulings, which is a violation of the Constitution. And then stepping back from the illegality and the unconstitutionality, what's the wisdom of it? Can government be more efficient and effective? Absolutely. That's not what Musk and Trump are doing. They are randomly just completely shutting down programs. They're not looking for efficiencies. We went back on contracts to feed people and provide health care to people all over the world. He just shut it all down. He shut down the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which coincidentally regulates a lot of his activity. That's not efficiency and effectiveness. That's gutting federal government so that a few people can just run wild and we can ignore things that we're supposed to be doing, all, by the way, so that they can cut, well, they do this just in general, but then if you think it's about fiscal responsibility, consider the fact that they want to cut taxes by some $7 trillion, burying us even further in debt. This isn't about fiscal responsibility. This is about power. This is about giving people like Elon Musk and Donald Trump absolute power to do whatever they want to do without the rule of law, the Constitution, or the American people having anything to say about it.
So it sounds like you're echoing what others have said, that it shouldn't just be, you know, an axe that is taken to this, but more of a scalpel. But also you're saying the motives are nefarious in your eyes, that they're looking for more power. Sure. Am I hearing you properly? Okay, so those are your thoughts. Well, listen to this. Out of the 2.3 million federal workers, we've been digging through the numbers here, and about 77,000 have actually accepted this buyout offer. Some say it's actually a pretty good deal. But look, these cuts, they've sparked chaos among federal workers. What do you think this is going to do in helping us to reduce the deficit? Do you think this will make a dent?
Well, first of all, it may be a good deal for the workers. Is it a good deal for the American people to all of a sudden, as we discovered the other day, there was some 300 people at the Nuclear Protection Agency that got, NNSA, I forget what the initials stand for, they got shut down until people like, oh my goodness, these people are actually making sure that our nuclear weapons don't get out of control. Maybe we need to bring a few of them back. So it is very dangerous what they're doing. As far as the deficit is concerned, it might save a few billion in terms of firing employees with a deficit of well over $1 trillion. And again, all as they are also cutting taxes primarily, again, for the wealthy and big corporations to the tune of anywhere between $4 and $9 trillion, depending on which plan they put in place. So how can they, with a straight face, claim that this has anything to do with fiscal responsibility? And again, they're not going in and saying, okay, we're going to do this more efficiently, more effectively. They're shutting down entire programs that are quite important in many instances, and they are continuing to do it. They're firing a whole bunch of people from the IRS. We already don't collect hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes owed, again, primarily owed by people like Elon Musk who figure out creative ways to get around it.
We're looking at loads of pictures, Congressman. Sorry to interrupt you. I just want to get your thoughts on whether you think this is effective, what these protesters are doing, the signs, the singing, the chanting. Is it effective? Where are the Democrats? Where is the resistance? Is this what they have? Is this what your party has to offer here to try to counter?
Well, first of all, there's a wide variety of people engaging in these activities. And no, I don't think it is particularly well thought out at the moment. And I do think that the Democratic Party, and right now, that means the Democrats in the House and the Senate. I think we need to step up and be clearer, have a better communication strategy in terms of driving home that message. I mean, you heard my message. I think that message, talking about the impact it's having on programs, the impact it's having on Americans, the fact that they're still cutting taxes, so it's not even going to help the deficit, the way Elon Musk benefits from it, is more effective than just complaining about government cuts broadly. Look, as I said, there could be a more efficient and more effective government. We're for that. But that's not what this is about. So yeah, I think we can do a better job, not just amongst the Democratic Party, but anyone who is concerned about what Musk and Trump is doing. We need to have a better communication strategy, a more organized and more effective message.
Well, when they're flooding the zone the way that they are, I can imagine it's difficult for your party to try to figure out, you know, which whack-a-mole to hit.
But it's not that hard, okay? What you do is you have to build an overall narrative, okay? And then you plug in the different pieces. You don't chase each piece. And the narrative is, this isn't about fiscal responsibility. They want to cut taxes by $5 trillion. They're devastating entire departments, coincidentally departments that would regulate stuff that Musk is doing. That's the narrative, and then you can plug in all the little pieces, and you can have a consistent message even while they're engaged in their flood the zone, shock and awe effort.
Well, 14 states have sued Elon Musk, alleging that his expansive role as head of Doge violates the Constitution, since he hasn't actually been confirmed by the Senate. But isn't Musk just doing what President Trump promised during his campaign? Trump feels like he has a mandate from the American people. He didn't just win the Electoral College, he won the popular vote, and he campaigned and said this is what he was going to do, and people seem shocked that he's doing what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, 2 quick points. One, this is Trump. Okay, Musk is a huge problem. He captures the imagination, but this is happening because of Trump, and that's where the responsibility lies and where we should focus it. He got 49.5% of the vote. Okay, I don't know if I'd use the word mandate. I mean, the Republicans are trying to grab it and run with it like everybody in the country agrees with them. But he does not have that large of a mandate. That's another point that we need to make to try to rouse people to say this is not what's good for the country.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about the hostages that Hamas just released that we mentioned at the top of the show. Keith Siegel, an American, the second American, to be released in these latest couple of batches. And he released this really emotional video talking about the conditions that he suffered through.
President Trump, you are the reason I am home alive. You are the reason I was reunited with my beloved wife, 4 children, and 5 grandchildren.
I mean, he said the conditions were absolutely horrible, and his wife had been released before that. He seems to be thinking that Trump really helped to bring him home. How big of a role do you think the president played?
Well, I think President Trump absolutely played a role in that, and I think part of it is because of the relationship he has with Benjamin Netanyahu that got them to a better place on getting to a peace agreement. So certainly, no, I think Trump played a role. Now, I also think that the Biden administration, which was negotiating this for a very long time, played a role. And at the end of the day, what the Biden administration decided to do, which was to keep supporting Israel and keep maximum pressure on Hamas, definitely mattered. But certainly, I think Trump played a role and deserves some credit for it.
All right, Democrat Congressman Adam Smith, appreciate your time today. You're the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee. Really happy to have you on the program and come back again. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the chance.
Of course.